Story Detectives, and welcome to video 2 of our first week back after the Easter holidays. We're looking at the book The Ugly Five, and we're going to do our word of the week. So can we have a drum roll please? Our word of the week is revolting. Oh dear, revolting. Well, let's put that there for a word of the week, and let's have a quick look where it comes in the story. It's when we meet the bird, the vulture bird. Let's have a quick look where it is. It says, I much prefer food that's been dead for a while. I'm clearly a lot more revolting than you. So what does the word revolting mean? Well, let's have a look in the dictionary. Now I want you to pay a lot of attention while we do this, because there's a task in today's activities which is going to get you to have a look in a dictionary to see if you can find the meaning of some of the words in this story. So when we look something up in the dictionary, as you know, we have to look it up in alphabetical order. We start then with the word revolting. We'll have to find all the words that begin with R. Then when we're in the section of all the words that begin with R, we need to look for the words that begin with RE. So then, once we've found the words that begin with RE, we go to the V letter. And all these are listed alphabetically. So the RA words will come first. And then once we get to the RE words, if you've got a word with the letter C, for example, like recent, that will come before revolting because the letter C comes before the letter V. It's a bit hard to explain, but it's very easy once you get going doing it. So so just pay attention while we do this, and then it will help you with the task later on. So let's go through the dictionary till we get to the letter R. So we say our alphabet: A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R. Okay, we have got to R. So we're in the R words now, wherever the Q's, okay. Let's just have a look and we'll go through this quite carefully. So as you get to the R words, you'll notice all the first of the R words are RA words, like the word rabbi or rabbit. They start with an RA, so they will be first. And we need to look through and see, we need to get to the RE words. So the RE words will come after all the RA words because the letter E is after the letter A in the dictionary. So once we're in the RE words, so let's see, we're in the RE words now, we need to be in the REV words because revolting is spelled REV. So the letter V is quite far at the end of the alphabet, so we have to look past all these RES words, all the RET words, until we get to the REV words. Now let's have a look at our word again, revolting. After the V, our next letter is O. So all our REV words are listed, so we need to find one with the O afterwards. So these are REVE. Now E comes before O in the dictionary, so our word will be a bit further on. So let's have a look. We've got REV. There we go. Revolting. REVOLTING. And that's an adjective, our word revolting. And it means horrible and disgusting. So let's put our meaning here on the word of the week. We have the word was revolting, and it's an adjective and it means horrible or disgusting. So let's have a look at a couple of synonyms and antonyms just so that you fully understand what the word means. These will really help to cement in your mind what this word means. Now, if we've got the word repulsive, that's when something is also really horrible or disgusting. So I'm going to put that with the synonyms. That's very similar to revolting. Revolting and repulsive are very similar words, so I'll put those together. But the word delightful, now that's completely different. If something's delightful, it's not revolting or repulsive at all. So that's the opposite. So I'll put it with the antonyms. Now what about the word nasty? Well, if something's nasty, oh yes, you don't want to spend any time with something nasty, do you? So that's the same kind of thing as revolting and repulsive. So I'll put that with the synonyms. But if something's lovable, oh, like a little kitten, that's not revolting at all, is it? So that's the opposite. I'll put that with the antonyms. And then we've got the word loathsome. Ooh, if something's loathsome, it's not very nice, is it? That means you really hate it. So I'm going to put that with the synonyms. And then finally, for another antonym, I've got the word pleasant. So pleasant is something really nice, and that's definitely the opposite of revolting. So we're just going to go back and have a look at the book again, because there's quite a lot of interesting vocabulary in this book. And some of the words I'm going to ask you to look up. Some of them you may know, but if you don't know them, then please use a dictionary like we just explained and have a look. If you don't have a dictionary at home, then you can use an online dictionary, although that's kind of a lot easier because you don't need to follow through on the alphabetical listening system, but it will still help you to find the meaning of the words. So let's just have a look at a few words. Grooming. Now, grooming is a word that we use usually when we're brushing our hair, or maybe we're doing our makeup or something like that. It's to make ourselves look nicer. And we've got this line here, grooming his mane. It looks like he's combing it with his claws there. So grooming, sort of combing out his mane. And it's a glorious mane, we're told. Well, glorious is something delightful, something amazing and beautiful. And then it says that the flamingos look divine. Divine's another word for beautiful or lovely. So we've got lots of really positive descriptive words on this page, which is really going to set us up for the shock of our ugly creatures. So let's just have a quick look. We've got the glorious mane, the kudu looked cool, the rhino looked fine, the bright pink flamingos are simply divine, the zebra is graceful. Oh, that's when you walk and you just look like you're almost dancing, you walk so nicely. The leopard looked great. Oh, what a picture of beauty. So on this page, we're setting it up with all these adjectives that describe things that are very beautiful, which gives us a big contrast then for when we meet our wildebeest, who is described as ugly and weird with spindly legs. So what does spindly mean? Well, that's when it's something that's very thin and it almost looks too thin to carry your body. So I don't think they look too thin, those spindly legs on this wildebeest, but you might describe something as having spindly legs if the legs just look far too skinny and you think, oh, they can't possibly be holding up the weight of that animal. So that would be something that was spindly. And then we've also got the word plain here. Now this has different meanings depending on how you use it. You might say that you like to have plain pasta with no sauce on, and that's when you just have something that's nothing added to it. So like plain pasta or plain crisps or chips where you don't have any flavours added to it. Plain can also mean something that's not very decorative. So you might say, I prefer my bedroom to plain. I don't like patterned wallpaper or patterned curtains. I like everything just to be one colour, then it would look very plain. And that doesn't necessarily have a negative connotation. But if you use the word plain to describe something or somebody's looks, it's like a polite way of saying they're ugly. So it's to say, if she looks plain, you'll be really quite kind. So it's basically saying, if we said this animal was plain, we'd be, it's a lot worse than plain. So plain is a sort of, it's a bit old-fashioned now. You don't hear people use it very often, but it's a sort of old-fashioned, kind way of saying somebody that isn't very good looking. Ungainly. Now this is an interesting word as well. So this is kind of like the opposite to graceful, really. So when somebody who's ungainly walks, it might look like they're going to fall over or crash into something. Maybe their arms and legs are sort of all flailing around everywhere, or they're staggering about. They certainly don't walk gracefully. It's like the opposite. So that's ungainly. And then specimen. Now this is an interesting word. So a specimen is a type of something. So I might say, could I have a specimen of your handwriting? Because I've got some essays here and I don't know who they belong to. And if I could have a specimen, that's like a sample of your handwriting, it would help. But it can also mean a type of something. So you might say, this is a perfect specimen of a hyena. So it means it's a perfect type of hyena. This is a good example of what a hyena looks like. So that's how what the word specimen means. We've got the word grotty here. That just means really dirty or dishevelled. What else have we got? Was there any other words? Oh, appalled. Oh, that's something that means you're very shocked. So I would be appalled to discover that Park and Shop no longer sold chocolate, I would be absolutely appalled. And there's our word revolting, which we have as our word of the week. And bravo. Now you may have heard this word. It's actually Italian and it means like well done. It's like a compliment. And that's used often when you're, if you're in a theatre or at a concert, you might shout bravo at the end, meaning, you know, well done, you've done a good show. And the word crew is like a team, a crew. So you might describe the people that work on the ship would be called a crew. Or you could even say, my group of friends are my crew. They're the people that I hang out with. It's like a team or a group. Bristly, that's like short, sharp, scratchy hairs that are sort of wiry, not silky, soft hairs. Definitely the opposite of that. Deafening, that's if something is so loud it almost makes you go deaf. And clan, now this is also a little bit like crew, but usually a clan is people related in a family. It wouldn't just necessarily be your family with your mum and dad and brother and sister. It would be your cousins and your aunts and uncles and like your big extended family. But you can also use the word clan to say that you're like a group. You could say, oh, we're all so similar, we're like a clan. We're all a similar type, we've got similar characteristics and we hang out together. Clan is a word, by the way, that was often used in Scotland. Clans were like groups of families that fought against different clans, and I'll have a look at that because that comes up in our worksheet later. Gangly, oh, that's something that's kind of gangly, like it dangles. If something's gangly, it sort of dangles down and it looks a bit sort of wobbly. And grouchy is a word that just means very grumpy. If you're in a grouch, you're usually in a bad mood. And then, was there any other words? Let's just have a quick look. Oh, bristles, that's the other word that's like bristly. So if you're bristly, you have bristles, which is like thick, wiry hairs. So I think that's all the vocab, and that will come up later in our worksheets. So tune in for video 3, and I will explain these worksheets. Okay, bye.